Right, I'm just doing this video just to demonstrate how I tune up these vintage style split post tuners. I see a lot of people online cursing these things, saying that they can't use them or the string slips off or any range of problems that they might have. But personally speaking, out with locking tuners, I think these are the best ones you can use and the easiest to use. So I'm just going to show on this Telecaster how I string these up, and if you copy the way that I'm doing it, you really should not have any problems at all. So I'm going to start here with a low E string. If I can just find my wire clippers, right? Okay. So first string on, I've got all the strings off there. I'm just putting one of the new ones on. So obviously it's going to go into the first one here. So what I do is go to the third one and just slightly past it. So two ahead and just ever so slightly past it. Clip the end off, right? So left with that, right? So basically I've got, what I do is I have the split facing out the way, right? So put it in the hole and then bend it, so you're holding it and bend it and then hold it like that, right? So it's been bent in the hole, you've just put it round about the side underneath and just hold it there and then start to tune up your string. Now you just want to keep your finger there and holding the string under here as well, just to keep the tension, and just string it up. This would be quicker if I used my Ernie Ball tuner, but it's sitting at the other end of the room, so we'll get it in a second for the other strings. Tighten that up. And you'll see the string will just gradually wrap below itself. And that's the first one on. I've not got to bother tuning it up. That's the first one on, and that's solid, tight. That's not going anywhere, right? So next one, similar thing. Where it gets a wee bit trickier, but you have to use your kind of own judgment is when you get to the higher strings. But it's the same principle that we'll be using. Basically, two string post lengths plus a tiny wee bit. Some people just do the two lengths. Some people use three. I find sort of 2.5 string post lengths past where you're going to put it is, it always works for me anyway, and gives you a few wraps. So let's get in here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then just a wee bit. Clip the string. Right. Again, I've got the split so it's facing that way. That's the way I like to do it anyway. In there. And then just bend it around the edge underneath and hold it with a bit of tension like that. And again, this time we'll use this. You just let the string wrap below itself. If you need to stop and sort of push the string up. And again. We've got that. And that one is tight as well. It's not going anywhere. And the good thing about these strings as well, I find, is if you ever need to take your strings off and they might still be fairly new, but you need to do something under your pick guard, they're actually easy to loosen and they'll just come off in the same position. They'll with the same wraps in the bit going inside as you put it on, and putting it back on again, you just get that bit inside and push your sort of wraps down over and tighten up. They're a lot better than your standard tuners. But generally speaking, I would use locking tuners whereby you just pull the string through, tighten it at the back, and that's it, and tune up. Yeah, they're certainly the easiest, but if I was to pick just normal tuners that I was going to use all the time, if I couldn't use locking tuners, then it would definitely be these. That's why I don't understand a lot of the hate that they get in it. I think it's just people maybe not quite understanding or just struggling a wee bit to put them on, which I can understand, because I used to struggle a wee bit with them as well until kind of figured out how to do it. So it's going in there. I'll move this back a bit so you can see. So we've got to go 1, 2, and just a wee bit. Clip the string. So you get the split facing towards the top of the guitar. In the hole, right down so it's right in, and then just bend it round this part here, and then hold it. And I'll use this. These things save a lot of time, these Ernie Ball tuners. They're only about 20 quid. Takes batteries, but or you can use the manual ones as well. I just prefer to use this. It just makes life a bit easier. Although you don't want to tighten it right up with this because you could easily over tighten and snap the string. So you would do the finer adjustments obviously with your hands. That's that one on. Now this is the last one where I'll be able to use the other head, the other tuning pegs as a guide, but I'll just show you how I do it anyway. You can do it with your eye. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact as long as you're in the right ballpark, distance wise past the post. I'm guessing maybe some people are cutting it too short, so it's not got enough wraps and it's just popping back at the tuning post. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's definitely a problem. I just see a lot of people talking about them and really hate them. But I've always said, if once you get used to using them, you actually find that they're really good. Well, I do anyway. Right, let's get this one. And if you can hear any Christmas music in the background, it's because there's a Christmas party going on upstairs above the studio. And you can hear all the classic Christmas songs. Right, so it's going in there. Let me get this over a bit so you can see. It's going in there. So we're going to go 1, 2, and just a wee bit past it. And clip the string. And again, get the split's going like that. Now these ones you have to make sure you have a wee bit of tension, like make sure the tension is on it because these can slip out a bit easier if you're not. So bending it around the side and then just holding it with a bit of tension. And if I can get my peg thing, right. And again you're just holding it, letting the string wrap, each wrap going below the other one. Sometimes you might need to stop and kind of push the string up a wee bit. And that will do with that. And there's the wrap, see that? And again, that's solid, it's not going anywhere. Right, last two. Right, this is where it gets, you have to use your sort of judgment a wee bit. But there is a way you can do it actually, which I'll show you. But I tend to just do it with my eyesight. So this one. Right. So one thing as well, when you put your strings in, these strings that load for the back, like Telecasters that have got string through and Strats with the block, always try and make sure you've got the ball end right up, because I don't know how many times I've put it in, went to tighten up and you hear all this slack coming and it's the ball end shooting up. You don't have it right in. So anyway, right, so it's going in there. So obviously I don't have another post here for reference. So what I would generally just do is just look at the distance. It's going in there, there's one post difference, right? So I would say that's about 2. If there was another post there, it would be there, and just a wee tiny bit. As I say, it doesn't have to be exact. Some people have different methods of doing it, where they'll maybe have an exact measurement to use and that, but I find this generally does just work. That's what you can also do with the last one, is if you get to it, you could always bend the string back a wee bit to see how far 2 lengths would be and cut it. That's the other way of doing it. I just tend to look with my eyesight and judge, but that's another good method of doing it. As I say, if I could have got to there, right, and then just kind of bent the string back a wee bit to see the 2 lengths coming back this way and then cut it, works just the same. Yeah, let me get with this one. Again, make sure it gets right down at the bottom of the hole. Keep a bit of tension on it. And with these last 2, some of them it might even be the 4 strings. Just watch for the string tree. Don't tighten it up too much or it won't bend under the string tree. Pretty obvious, but I'm just mentioning it anyway. Right, so push that up a bit. Right, and I'm stopping there just so I can push the string under the string tree here, which actually feels as if it's a little bit slack. was just a wee tad slack, right? And the last string, and the good thing about this as well is you're cutting at the start, so once you put the string in and you've tightened everything up, that's it. I mean, that's it done. You don't have ends in that to tighten up. I really hate, the ones I hate the most is just your standard tuners where you put it through and then you bend it back so it sort of jams and holds itself. I just find them, the least stable as well. Right. I would always recommend, especially with tremolos, to have pin locking tuners. Go to a pin, now you might spend £80 on them, or I don't know what it would be in dollars, maybe the same. But it's a great investment for your guitar, and it will always stay in tune, or it will stay in tune certainly a lot better if you've got a trem. And I just find them the most easiest. You just put a string through, tighten it at the back, tighten up, tune up, and that's it. I mean, it's really simple. So I'll just show you what you could do with the bending back one. So we're on the last one, so obviously I've got nothing else at the end as a reference. So you could just go like that and bend the string back slightly. See, right, that's about 2 and a bit lengths there, so I'll cut it a bit there. So I've not got much to cut off this string, to be honest. Just a wee bit. And again, put it into get the split facing this way. And keep a bit of tension on it. Tighten up. Yeah, let's see. Probably actually could have cut this one just a wee bit shorter, but that's not going to do much, cause any problems really. Just make sure, yeah, in fact that's fine, that's perfect. And then you would just start to tune everything up for there. But anyway, that's it, that's how you do it. That's the way I do it, always works for me, everything's solid, nothing's popping out. And once I tune it up and that a few times and stretch the strings, they'll remain pretty much stable. Obviously temperature changes and that will cause you to have to tune up every so often, but there it is. Hopefully that helps some people out there who are maybe struggling with these tuners, but maybe don't want to change. Follow that and you should go on fine. Cool.